Celtic mythology is one of the harder mythologies to learn about. There is not a lot of information out there, for it has gotten lost over the centuries. But today's story is going to focus on the goddess known as Morrigan, or the Morrigan. The Morrigan, known in modern Irish as the Phantom Queen, is the goddess of war, faith, death, and victory in battle. She is a gifted shapeshifter who favors being a crow, and one of the most well-known goddesses in Irish Celtic mythology. She is just one of three goddesses of war, the other two being Macha and Naman. The goddess of war being one of the many names people called the Morrigan, some being the Phantom Queen, the Morrigan Goddess, the Celtic Goddess of Death, the Great Queen, and the Queen of the Triple Goddesses. You may assume she is known as a triple goddess because she is one of three war goddesses, but that's not entirely correct. Macha and Babi are her sisters, and together, the Morrigan is known as the triple goddess. We have established she is the goddess of death and war, but what role did she play in her abilities? Well, the Morrigan could see the deaths of soldiers and knew they would be the ones that would perish. She would turn into a crow and fly over the battlefield, where some soldiers would be too terrified to fight, while others would be inspired to fight for their lives. This leads us to the story of how the Morrigan met the beast, Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn and the Morrigan met while he was defending the province of Ulster from Queen Maeve and her army. The Morrigan had fallen in love with Cuchulainn. The day before he had entered battle, Morrigan attempted to seduce Cuchulainn to no avail despite her beauty. This outraged Morrigan, and as Cuchulainn made his way across the fjord, Morrigan transformed into an eel and attempted to trip the beast. He had managed to hit and hurt the eel, but it did not stop there. She would transform into a wolf and made a stampede of cows run towards Cuchulainn, where Cuchulainn managed to get his slingshot and shoot the Morrigan in her eye, blinding her. Her last attempt was transforming into a cow and riled up the herd, to which Cuchulainn evaded and threw a stone that broke the Morrigan's leg, forcing defeat. And after Cuchulainn's victory, he heads back to base when he noticed an old woman milking a cow who was recently injured. He approached, not realizing the danger he was getting into. She offered him a drink that once he finished, he blessed the woman, who so happened to be the Morrigan, and cured her of all her injuries. The Morrigan refused to engage in combat. She had already outsmarted him into healing her. They would meet again before his death. Cuchulainn would stumble upon a woman cleaning bloody armor, which was a bad omen before battle, so he ignored it and confronted his enemy. This would lead Cuchulainn to be mortally wounded in battle. As an attempt to scare off any enemies, he tied himself to a boulder. A crow then landed on his shoulder as he fell into sleep for the last time. It is unknown if the crow was Morrigan getting her last laugh or not. Now we know who she is and who her sisters are, but who birthed the Morrigan? Let's take a look into who her parents were. Her father is unknown, but her mother was a mother goddess or Mass. Not a lot of information on the Mass, just that she was killed during the Battle of Magsrud. Her husband was said to be Dagda, a god of fertility, wisdom, and strength. It is said that he and Morrigan would meet up once a year in a sexual relationship to repopulate.